Welcome.
Yeah. So how are you and Clarence Thomas not DEI hires?
How am I and Clarence Thomas not DEI hires?
Yes. How are you not DEI hires when you call every black and brown woman on the left DEI hires?
Before I answer the question, John, tell me the black and brown woman I've called DEI hire. Who are you talking about?
No, I'm just Donald Trump, the whole Republican Party.
No. You said you, Larry Elder. Stop, John. You said you, Larry Elder, call every black and brown person hired a DEI hire. When have I said that? And who are you talking about?
So Letitia James.
Hold on. I've never. Sorry, John. I'm happy to answer your question. Just don't lie about things I've said. I've never once called Letitia James a DEI hire. She ran
as a party. So how are you not?
I'm not responsible for everything the party says. Are you responsible for everything that your party says? How silly is that?
No, I'm not. But you agree with what your party says. That's what I'm problem with.
If my party has said Letitia James, John, are you calling to have a conversation? Or just calling just to yell and scream at me? Now, what you trying to do? Do you want to yell and scream at me? Or do you want to have a conversation?
Am I yelling or screaming?
Yeah, you are. You're cutting me off. You won't let me answer your question.
Okay. You cut off.
I have never once called Letitia James a DEI hire. I said she ran for office promising to get Donald Trump, which I believe is a violation of the canons of ethics for a prosecutor. I've never once called her a DEI hire.
Sure
Who have I? I'm sorry?
Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, okay, maybe.
Not maybe anything. I've never called her a DEI hire.
Okay, fine. Okay, you have it.
Okay.
Why do you support a party that calls every black and brown woman a DEI hire?
Okay, name the person. Excuse me. Name the person in my party. I'm assuming you're calling.
Freaking video. You got audio and
okay.
video.
John, it should be very easy for you to tell. John, it should be very easy for you to.
I don't have a montage that I could put together for you and show it to
you. You mean you don't have any facts?
I can.
You mean you don't have any facts?
Come on.
You just want to make. What do you mean? Come on. You said everybody in your party said. You said everybody in your. Do you want to have a conversation, John, or no?
Larry Elder. Well, a conversation about what? Because you're going to dispute everything I say, and you're not going to make any sense.
I'll tell you what. You say something, John. You say something, and then I'll say something.
Hey,
okay. We've jumped the shark, John. I can't go any further with you. How can I have a conversation with somebody like this? I tried. Everybody in your party says every black and brown person is DEI hire. Who says that? I'm assuming you're talking about Donald Trump because he is the leader of the party. I've never heard Donald Trump say every black and brown person who's hired is a DEI hire. I've never heard him say that, ever. And if you can show me where he said that, I will say that I'm wrong. He's never said that. He's criticized people. By the way, he's criticized more white people than black and brown people. But you're not upset when he criticizes white people. He has called Jasmine Crockett low IQ. He's called Maxine Waters low IQ. So, and even then, I've never heard him say that they were DEI hires. They ran for office. They got elected. How does that make them DEI hires? You know, it's just so incredibly unfair. I know you don't like the man, but to just distort positions or lie about positions and then attack the lie, it's just silly. Juveniles do that. How is Larry Elder not a DEI hire? I've been on radio for 30 years, 31 years altogether. And if you want to know about my career, John, ask me. I'll tell you. When I got hired in 1994, I was on at night from 9 until midnight. Did so well, they moved me up from 8 until 11. Did so well, they moved me to drive time, which is drive time and morning time, the two most important day parts in radio. And when I got hired for 2 hours for the 4-hour drive time show, for the first 2 hours, and I did so well, they expanded me to the next 2 hours. So for half my career, I was on from 3 until 7, Monday through Friday, in Los Angeles, drive time. And prior to my coming there, the previous 5 years, that station that hired me had hired 30 individuals, either in pairs or individually, to be in the most competitive spot on radio, morning and drive time. And I came there, and I stabilized it. And I was there for the next 20 years at that station, and then I moved over to Salem. So that makes me a DEI hire In radio, you get fired if you don't have ratings. In radio, you get fired if you don't attract clients to make money for the station. I've been doing this 30 years. How am I a DEI hire? Now, you want to talk about DEI hires? How about Ketanji Brown Jackson? Joe Biden specifically says, my only criterion is that the person be a black female. Now, if that isn't a DEI hire, I don't know what the hell is. Specifically saying, I'm going to hire a black female, and then proceeded to do so. What is that? He also said he wanted to have a black female as a running mate. Can you say Kamala Harris? Yeah, DEI hire, absolutely. Does not mean her entire career has been based on DEI. She ran for and got elected as the DA of San Francisco, ran for and got elected as the Attorney General of California, ran and got reelected, ran for Senator, California. The people put her in those positions. But when Joe Biden specifically says, I'm going to hire a black female as my running mate, of course that by definition makes her a DEI hire. Same thing with Ketanji Brown Jackson. When you specifically say, I'm going to hire a black female, my only criterion is going to be a black female, of course it's a DEI hire. Does that mean every black and brown person is a DEI hire? Of course not. Claudine Gay, the president of Harvard, the one who wouldn't understand that violence against Jews is something that the school shouldn't put up with. Every other president of Harvard had a very extensive publishing record. Books, papers. She published virtually nothing. Was she a DEI hire? I think so. Does that mean every single black or brown professor at Harvard is a DEI hire? Of course not. But her resume was pretty darn thin compared to the resumes of her predecessors. But I don't know that anybody in my party, from president to J.D. Vance to any of the cabinet members, have ever said every black and brown person who has a job is a DEI hire. That is pretty stupid. Is LeBron James a DEI hire? Are you serious? What anger? What irrational, silly, unfocused, almost deranged anger. And we couldn't have a conversation. I put you on, John, to have a conversation. I welcome people who disagree with me. That's why I put you on. But I'm not going to sit here and just be yelled at and screamed at and cut off. And listeners don't want that. They want to have an exchange of ideas. If you have any ideas. Thank you for calling. Maybe next time, calm down. We'll try again.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.